So I know that you probably won't watch this video based on the comments and based on the fact that you unfollowed me. But first, I do want to apologize because there was never intent to offend you. My intent is always to offer perspective shifts that will empower healing and growth. Because just like abuse is nuanced, so is healing. And our subconscious mind is a tricky motherfucker that will cling to things out of safety. And it shows up in the words we choose and our triggers because our trauma lives in our energy. Everything is energy. Our words, our thoughts, our perceptions, our emotions, our trauma. Trauma is literally trapped emotions, energy in motion in the body. So that's understanding one. Energy doesn't just disappear. It needs to go somewhere. It needs to be transformed or transmuted. So if you had experience as a child that made you feel devalued, you felt unworthy or unlovable, you basically internalized shame over being yourself, which every single person on this planet has internalized shame. Every single system is set up to instill shame in you. If you didn't have parents to help you process and transmute and transform that shame, that energy lives in your energetic body until you do the work to transform that shame. And you know the shame is still alive in your body because it gets triggered. So in the video that this comment was on, the lady asked a very specific question. How can we get over our shame when we have been devalued our whole life and we believe it? Very specific question from an adult's perspective. So to all the comments that say this doesn't apply to kids, of course it doesn't. You're taking the question and answer out of context. So he offered a new perspective to help you transmute the shame. He said the reason we feel devalued is because we bought into the idea that we weren't valuable. So somebody presented us at some point in our life with this idea and we agreed, gave it permission to be there. Remember, like I said, this happens young. And when we don't have emotionally intelligent parents to help us process and transmute that shame, we internalize it. It is not within our control that we developed the shame. It exists in our body, but we can transform it. And the video was offering a perspective shift so you can do that. Now, people will perceive the video in one of three ways, and the way they perceive it is reflective of where they're at on their healing journey. Someone who is ready to transmute the shame will find resonance with the concept that the shame is false. Oh fuck, I don't have to carry it anymore. It never belonged to me, which was the intent of the video. To offer a perspective shift, an aha moment. Someone who has already done the work of transmuting the shame will hear this video and they will own it. Yep, I totally bought into the idea that I was unvaluable, and it makes sense because of all of these reasons, but I don't judge myself for having had this shame. Someone who has successfully transmuted the shame doesn't hear judgment because one, no judgment was issued. Remember, she asked a specific question, and two, because they don't judge themselves. Someone who still has trauma in their energy field will hear the message. It'll bump up against the shame that still exists. They will feel uncomfortable. They will bypass the emotional relief that's being offered, and they will hear judgment because it is reflective of their self-judgment, to which they respond. This kind of sounds like victim blaming. Healing is uncomfortable because it forces us to confront beliefs that we've carried for so long. If the message of the original video triggered you, and if this video triggers you, I invite you to sit with the discomfort, not as proof that you're being judged, but as a sign that you may still be carrying something that is asking to be healed. Even if you cognitively understand that the shame isn't yours to carry, when it comes up, when it's triggered, it's simply residual energy. It's just asking to be loved and to be held. Again, the intent of this video is never to blame, it is to empower. Because when we realize we no longer have to carry the shame, we reclaim our personal power.